is your name?
Joe Morris.
And where are you from originally?
Hamilton.
And your education background?
Mohawk, advertising communications, same courses here.
Okay. When did you decide you wanted to enter the advertising industry?
I guess I always liked art class back in high school, so it was kind of one of those things where how can I make a living out of doing something with design or something with, not necessarily being artistic, but not wanting to be a starving artist, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So just art direction and advertising was one of the ways that, you can make money.
Okay. And how did you succeed at doing so, getting to where you wanted to be?
Back in Mohawk, I guess the biggest thing was in second year and third year was realizing that your classes are important, but your portfolio is the be all end all.
Mm-hmm.
Companies aren't going to care if you pass the course or not. They're going to care, but you should obviously pass the course, but they're not going to care about your marks or what classes you did amazing in. All they care about is what your book looks like and how polished it is. So it's take every single project possible and do some extra ones in second and third year that are just it's all for your book.
Okay.
That's basically
Okay.
yeah.
What is your current position at the firm, and what responsibilities are required of you?
So here I'm an art director working on digital. So I guess basically for me, when a project comes in, it's up to me and a copywriter to conceptualize and come up with the ideas and basically get our ideas ready for presentation and things like that. And then once they buy off on an idea, then it's up to us to execute the entire thing. So some things might be delegated to designers and things like that, and then I kind of oversee them. But for the most part, it's up to me to sort of execute the idea that we've presented.
Okay. For you, what's your typical day like, and how would it differ from your colleagues around here?
I guess typically for me, it's kind of tale of two worlds. So if I'm just starting off on a project, then I'll have quite a few days that are really just, jamming at reception, finding little meeting rooms and stuff like that, but it's all just shooting ideas around and, it looks like you're not really doing much, but you're just constantly trying to think of something new or whatever. So you can have lots of days like that, which are cool. Those are sort of the funner ones. And then the other side of it is when you do get into sort of the executional area, and especially when projects start to sort of pile up, then it really does become pixel pushing. You have days where it's just okay, make these changes and get it out, and then design this whatever it is and get it approved or whatever. So yeah, it's either thinking or designing.
Okay, great. What do you like about your role, and what would you change if you had to change anything?
I love the conceptual stuff. The idea to me is always the best part of everything. So that's what I enjoy the most. And then, when you do have the opportunity to come up with a big idea or something like that, that executing that big idea is always fun to see it through to completion, even when it gets frustrating at times. If I could change anything, it would probably just be I want more of that. I'd love to come up with more bigger ideas, and the client that I work on, they're reluctant to do big ideas sometimes. So you can come up with something great and it ends up getting shot down because they want to just pump a price point. So if I could change anything, it would be that I would wish that the client would take more chances and do more big ideas that would get them noticed rather than just push a price point.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
Great. After being part of the business for some time now, what would you advise somebody looking to enter the industry themselves after completing their program? What does it take to succeed, and also cope on a daily basis?
So like I said earlier, your portfolio is going to be the biggest thing. So as you're coming out of school, just try to get that thing as solid as possible. And then after that, don't be afraid to meet people. It doesn't even have to be an opportunity per se. It can just be, hey, I just want you to take a look at my book. Just get noticed by and meet as many people as you possibly can. And when you do break in and get that opportunity, then ask questions, always raise your hand. They sound like typical standard things, but, from experience of myself, but also designers that have just started here and things like that, it's there's certain ones that get noticed, and it's because they work their butts off and they're smart guys, and they'll look for extra opportunities if they're out there. So it's just prove yourself, because it will get noticed, and if you've got the smarts and ideas and things like that, creative directors will see it.
Yeah. So basically, I guess networking and hard work.
Yeah.
Get you where you want to be.
Yeah, networking is huge though.
Mhm.
Like, just constantly meet whoever you can and stay in touch as much as you possibly can. Because that's how I started, and that's even once you get into the industry, how you're probably going to get your next job, and your next job, and your next job is through knowing someone. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, that concludes the interview anyway. So,
Cool.
Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
Thanks very much.